It was past midnight. The city felt suspended and the elevator's hum echoed down the hallway. A reminder that I was late to my own life. A blank file glowed. A project I'd postponed for months waited no. Fireworks, just a first line. The lamp threw a long shadow and I thought of Jung. What you most need will be found where you least want to look. Inertia was my shadow that night. I made one promise I could keep without drama. 2 minutes. If nothing happened, I'd stop. I hit the timer, wrote a small crooked sentence, and the boat finally left the pier. If that scene resonates, stick around, subscribe, and tap. Like so I know this path matters to you. Let's begin. We're rarely lazy. Most of the time we're stalled at a threshold that looks bigger than it is. Biology resists effort. The mind rationalizes. The persona performs busyness. Jung called the persona a useful mask, helpful but brittle. Behind it sits the self, the regulating center that wants to move. Tomorrow I'll start as persona speak. Taking the first step now is the self answering. Inertia breaks with small, engineered gestures. The first is absurdly simple. 2 minutes. Start the engine without panic. Studying becomes opening the material and underlining one line. Training becomes shoes on, 10 squats. Writing becomes accepting an imperfect paragraph. Cross the threshold, and the body understands it can continue. Then run a short 15-minute block. One window open. Water nearby, silence, or neutral music. A single task. If the mind bolts, don't argue, capture the distraction on paper in return. Environment beats motivation. What you see exists. What takes too many steps disappears. Reduce friction. Document open at the exact spot. Log out of attention traps, TV unplugged, snacks off the desk. Keep a warm start list for low-energy moments. Write the title. Delete 3 bad lines. Reply to a 3-line email. Tidy 1 paragraph. Do 10 push-ups. The mind needs easy doors. But a day isn't everything. A week is where identity sets. Draw a simple scoreboard of 15-minute blocks. Each block is 1 checked square. We don't count hours. We count units of presence. 6 blocks per week is an honest floor. 12 is a strong target. 20 is an occasional ceiling when recovery is good. Mark the square immediately, then reinforce with aligned rewards. After a block, stand, drink water, look out the window. End of day if you met the target. A longer shower, relaxing reading, music without multitasking. End of week if you honored the board. A small experience you've been postponing. Proper rewards teach your body to like the path, not just the trophy. Jung would remind us. What we deny governs us. Shadow isn't evil, it's the own-ound. Maybe your shadow is perfectionism, or avoiding the discomfort of beginnings. Checking a humble square on a hard day integrates a piece of that shadow. The part that demands control accepts the provisional. The part that fears failure learns to enjoy small attempts. Individuation, becoming who you are, rarely arrives as a grand epiphany, showing up daily, even for 15 minutes. Rest is part of discipline. 1 active rest day per week. 0 to 1 block, a 2-minute minimum win, and a quick agenda review. Every 4 to 6 weeks, a deload to 50 to 70% of your usual blocks. On chaotic days, save the streak with the 7-minute plan. 2 to start, 5 to focus. The non-negotiable. Never 2 zeros in a row. When energy is good, go deeper. Build 45 to 60-minute tunnels with clear walls. 1 visible outcome, sources in sight, 2 30-second micro-pauses to correct course, and an exit that already points to the next entrance. Stop mid-sentence, so tomorrow you slips right back in. The outer world intrudes, calls, urgencies, curveballs. Often it's not the email, it's a complex Jung's term for autonomous emotional knots. Hijacking attention, name it the old perfectionism complex. Asking for guarantees. Breathe, jot it down, return. Naaman breaks the spell. Big goals are fine, but they demand small rhythms that don't break. Turn projects into blocks. A course becomes summarized modules. Book section outlines. Training, weekly progressions. The self feeds on coherence. Start, block, mark, rest, re-enter. Halfway reminder, if this opened a window in you, Subscribe and like your signal tells me to keep building practical, deep pieces like this. Some days will be poor. Let's call them by name. Low energy days, not verdicts. Use plan B, mark 1 square. Resume tomorrow. Guilt turns down. Self-esteem begins to depend on today's action, not tomorrow's fantasy. Focus improves when the mind stops self-judging. Protect islands of concentration times with few interruptions. Clear signals to others at home, a simple indicator that deep work lives here. Your routines needn't be militarized, just stable enough for the body to learn the path. Sleep is your hidden lever. Consistent hours, a cooler room, screens away for half an hour, morning light. If sleep is poor, lower the day's ambition. The tired hero pays interest. And movement lubricates thought. Walk 5 minutes when stuck. Where does synchronicity fit? Jung used it for meaningful coincidences that seem to answer us. Think of it as attention plus intention plus available information aligning. It's not a supernatural note deciding for you, but an invitation to the next step. Your blocks lay the ground where coincidences become useful. When you show up, the world answers back. 3 quick tools to stitch psychology into daily behavior. Persona, shadow self-check. Which mask am I wearing? Which useful piece of shadow can I own today? Impatience gives impulse to begin. Anger gives boundary. Envy gives compass. What's the next small step that keeps my integrity? Daily energy map 0 to 10. Physical, cognitive, emotional, social. Match the right task to the energy you actually have. Support archetype for the day. Warrior, begin. Sage, structure. Lover, care. Reward, rest. Magician, reframe. If resistance spikes, run a 90-second grounding. Feet on the floor for slow nasal breaths. Relax shoulders. Eyes on a fixed point. Whisper, just start. When life is messy, run a minimum viable week. 3 non-consecutive days with 1 block. On others, the 2-minute win. You don't lose cadences, shift gears. 1 story. Marta, an architect, believed she needed 3 free hours to work on her portfolio. We switched 2 15-minute blocks 3 times a week, plus a 60-minute Saturday dive. 3 months later, portfolio done, 3 proposals, not a miracle, just a board, fair rewards, respect for the body. When the mind demands guarantees, use the 4 golden questions. What can I start in 2 minutes? What visible result ends this block? What is good enough today? What's the ridiculously small next step for tomorrow? Return to that first image. Now it's morning. The elevator sound no longer accuses, it announces. You open your notebook where yesterday's thread still hangs, and as the city wakes, you begin. No audience, no fanfare. 1 checked square. 1 brick in sight. A house growing from the inside out. In a sociable silence, you realize you've beaten the inertia that lived in your own body, and that victory opens all the others. If this helped, subscribe and leave a like. Come back tomorrow, mark another square. Week after week, repeat. And when someone asks how you did it, you'll answer simply, the way only walkers can. I started small and didn't stop.